Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy Rashaun here, coming at you again with another screen recorded video. All right, so you guys wouldn't believe this, bro. Like, man, I've recorded. I sat up here and spoke for 10 minutes. No, not 10 minutes. 20 minutes, almost. Just talking, and the video was not recording audio, so I had to get rid of that other app that I had and get a new app on here, bro. I was pissed. I ain't gonna hold you. I was pissed, but now we're recording. I double checked. Well, audio is all good. So for you guys that came in this supporting my channels early, I really appreciate it. So I'm gonna try not to disappoint. These channels are getting better and better, and I'm sorry, these episodes will be getting better and better. Right now, I'm just laying down the foundations of success. So basically, once I get the ball going and the ball rolling and the tires is hitting the road, rubber meet the road. Once I get going and get this train going and so on and so forth and all that other stuff, people that come into my platform and basically have questions about the platform or want to say certain things and don't have all the information, I would know for a fact that they haven't watched my content from beginning all the way up to current. You know, however long I feel like doing these videos. So I'm laying these foundation videos down as like I was just saying, the foundation of all my other videos. So anybody that's new, I'm going to refer them to season 1. Did you go back and watch season 1? Did you go back and watch season, 2 or whatever the season is? Because I know what each season is about. Season 2 is going to be about what I talk about, the homeless survival and all that stuff. But right now, season 1 is just me talking about the foundations, the qualities that you're going to need in order to be able to do all this stuff and the importance of everything that I'm talking about. So for right now, I'm going to be discussing the importance of cognition. So let's go skip all that. Go to my notes. These are all my notes. I got hella notes, guys. Hella notes from all the types of stuff that I'm going to be doing. Whole lot of videos, whole lot of video game stuff, a lot of ideas that I have, a lot of stuff. I just wanted to scroll down here, and it still goes. It's a lot of stuff in there. I got a lot of notes, It's stuff on other stuff, even topics people talk about. It's a lot of notes. Let me do YouTube. Let me pull up my cognition stuff. I gotta check my notes. Always lesson order is gonna make sure I keep everything. So the first episode, I did give out my name, date of birth, all that stuff, and blah blah blah. Why I think I'm qualified to teach and all that stuff. In episode 2, I did the tools and symbols I will use to teach from this point on. I did speak about speech, charisma, toughness, and conspicuousness. I did speak about that in the episode before the last. And my recent episode that I did was where I talked about guts. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so season 1.3, cognition and point of view. So this is going to be the 4th episode of this season. So basically, I'm going to be using old/young lady optical illusion to see what your point of view is and to see if you can see both sides of the coin, because understanding both sides of the story will give you a higher understanding of the entire situation. If you only hear one side, you can only go off one side. If you hear the other side, you can only go off the other side. But if you hear both sides, you could see everything. You got all the cards on the table, and you can draw your own conclusions and make your own decisions based off your experience. And experience is very key. And I'm an anime guy, and I'm a video game guy. So I have a lot of references in regards to cognition and point of view. I'll just tell you 3 references off the top of my head that I'm going to be using is the Persona 5, the Phantom Thieves. The one where they basically, it's about basically a group of people who enter the minds of other people and make them have a change of heart. So people who do bad things and have a negative, who create negative realities for other people, they make them have a change of heart and see things differently, and make them want to basically turn themselves in and take responsibility for their crimes and their actions and so on and so forth. So they call it a change of heart. I'm pretty sure many people throughout their lives, you had a change of heart. It was a situation where you've heard or you had an initial view or understanding of something, but as time goes on and you matured or you just thought about stuff differently, so you're now seeing it a different way. You're now like, you know what, well, maybe it wasn't so bad, or maybe it wasn't what I initially thought, or maybe I was just being this way or that way, because your cognition changed, the way you saw things changed, based off what you went through. Another example would be Naruto, where everybody knows about anybody that watches anime, you gotta heard of Naruto with the whole Naruto and Sasuke thing. And Sasuke is from the Uchiha clan, who is basically the owners of the Sharingan. So, and we all know the Sharingan is basically a visual prowess that gets more and more powerful the more and more trauma and emotional struggle and pain an individual goes through. The more suffering a person goes through, the more powerful that visual prowess is. So basically, depending on the pain that the person feels, and depending on the obstacle in his way, the eyes will evolve from the regular three Tomo Sharingan to the Mangekyo Sharingan, and then it could go up to the Rinnegan and all these different types of guns and all this stuff. And just based off the experience and the ability to keep grinding that wheel and keep pushing forward in life and so on and so forth. Another one would be, what did I say already? I already used Persona 5. I've already used Naruto and Sasuke. The third one, what I would say, is Bloodborne. Bloodborne is basically the most relevant because cognition and point of view, which is labeled POV. Cognition and point of view together creates insight. So if you have a particular cognition and you have a particular point of view, that's going to determine your level of insight. And the more insight you have, the better your ability is to see the deeper meaning of things unbiasedly, to see things how they really are, and to be able to make a decision off that. Going to this example right here that I had right here, where this is for the red pill community. Anybody out there that's a red pillar or whatever, everybody knows that, or even if you just my generation, or if you're just somebody that don't, this is for everybody, basically. 304 is a politically correct way to basically say a hoe. And and basically when we was in school and we used to play around with the little calculators they gave us in math class and try to figure out how to make words and messages, and and like usual, the curse words were the funniest. And people used to turn the calculator upside down, and 304 is spelled hoe and whatever. But in the red pill community, like a lot of people understand or have the understanding that if she has tall heels and big hoop earrings, chances are she's a 304. The bigger the hoops, the bigger the 304. So I don't want to get too deep off in that, but I just want to basically do references to see if I can hit as many bases as I possibly can. So I did anime references, I did video game references, so on and so forth. But going back to that Bloodborne one, as you travel throughout the world, the more monsters you defeat, the more obstacles, kind of like the Sharingan, the more obstacles you defeat, the more and more your ability is to see things like you never saw before. You get to see things that you never thought was there before, but they've always been there. Anybody who's plays Bloodborne understands what I'm saying. The level of insight you have, it's called, you can use madman's knowledge, because the more of this madman knowledge you have, the more susceptible to frenzy you are. So if you're susceptible to frenzy, basically that's like going crazy. That's when people think you're crazy because you're saying all this weird and out the blue shit and all this crazy stuff is. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people are actually crazy, okay? So people are actually crazy, but there's a lot of people that know certain things and are able to see certain things like other people aren't able to see, and they seem crazy because they aren't able to explain it in such a way to where that person can basically hitch on to what they're saying and catch on and be able to see things the way they do. So having insight is good, but being able to change people's cognition and point of view and perspective is important to it's actually paramount to being a leader, to being a just being a man. Period. If you're gonna be a man and have a woman in the house, she needs to be able to see things the way you do. Say if she doesn't see things the way you do, she's not gonna be able to understand you. Therefore, she's not gonna be on your team. It's always gonna be trouble. Because any situation, not just a relationship, but even in a situation to where you're a manager or you're a boss. If you hire a crew that don't have the same mission as you do, they don't care about things or see things the way you do, your stuff's never going to be right. It's never going to be how, it's never going to be, right. It's always going to be something janky. It's always going to be something wrong. So it's important to have people around you, whether it's family, friends, significant others, business associates, whoever, at all times being able to communicate your cognition and point of view to them, to see if they have that same or similar cognition point of view, and then if they don't, be able to see if you can kind of convert them over to your way of thinking via what I was saying the last time, via speech, right here when I was talking about in the second episode, via speech and charisma. When people see charisma, when people see success, people are very, 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 very big suckers for success. So when they see cars, clothes, jewelry, status symbols, and all these different things, when they see that, when that person speaks, they're listening. You know what I'm saying? Because and they're very, very, very influential to these people because they're in a position to where they're winning. And people like to listen to winners. So if you have the charisma of a winner and you look like a winner, people are going to listen to you because they think you're a winner. That's why rappers and entertainers are so prominent, especially in the black community, because that's where we see most of the success at, and is in the entertainment industry, whether you're a football player, basketball player, so on and so forth. So these people tend to listen to those people more so than any other people, because they see it successful, and people like to listen to successful people because they feel like it's going to make them successful. So being able to use your speech and your charisma to make other people successful is very important. Being able to have that level of insight and be able to see things on a deeper level and have other people to see things on a deeper level the way you do, that is a big plus. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go right into this optical illusion. So right here is an example of what I'm talking about here. So right here you have this picture right here, and you can kind of just tell me what you see. Do you see a young woman or do you see an old lady? Do you see a young lady or do you see an old woman? What do you see? It depends on your perspective. Some people might see one, some people might see the other. Some people might see both. And the best perspective to have is both, because you have both sides of the story. And if somebody is able to say they see something, you're able to understand what it is that they see, so you can now be able to better relate to this particular person because they see things a certain way. And it's very easy to get people on your team and to be able to be more cooperative and be able to open up to you when they feel like you understand them. So though they feel like you don't understand, if they see a young woman and you see an old lady but you don't see the young woman, it's going to always be discourse. It's going to basically be an issue, when you guys try to sit up here and and try to go back and forth. So it's the same thing with religion. It's the same thing with politics. It's the same thing with a lot of things that people do. Some people have a young lady perspective, so to speak, and some people have an old lady perspective, so to speak. But in order for you to be a noble, in order for you to beat homelessness and be able to see and to do all this stuff and see things for what they really are and make a truly calculated, unbiased decision, you need to be able to see both and understand both. Otherwise, you're going to struggle out here. You can believe all you want to, but at the time, this world wasn't built based off of just, beliefs. It was built off of calculated risk. People thought about something and then figured what's their chance of success, and they took a chance, and they either failed or succeeded. The ones who failed, they just failed. They took an L. It's too bad for them, but the ones that succeeded, you hear their names all over the place. They're pasted all in history and all this stuff, and you see their works even to this day. So, you have to take risks, and that's another video if I haven't covered that video already. So by now, you guys have had plenty of time to see the old woman or the young lady, whichever one. So I'm going to go ahead and back out of this. And this is my video on basically cognition and point of view. It's very important to determine what point of view or how someone else sees things. Because if you understand how they see things, you can now know how you want to move. So yeah, no point. No problem. Not no point. I didn't mean to say that. I'm getting sleepy, y'all. I done tried to record these things like 3, 4, 5 times. I've been up here hours trying to figure out how to do all this stuff. And so I don't really have anything to add other than to this topic. So I done spoke about all the things that I wanted to speak on. I appreciate you guys for supporting me. Be sure to hit the like button, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. So, I'm really busting my ass here trying to get these videos out in my spare time. So I hope you guys appreciate it. And again, it will get better. Later on down the line, I'll make it more entertaining. And then, I got things I want to talk about. That's a whole nother episode. I'm going to do a whole nother episode of all the stuff that I want to do on the platform, and see if I can kind of set up goals and see if I can get a roadmap going. That's very good. See if I can get a roadmap going. They try to knock things out one at a time. Excuse me, y'all. But all right, this is Rashaun here, and I am out.
I was down and I became a better me. My list of problems, kid you not, was longer than the sweater sleeve. Now I'm a boss, something they was thinking I would never be. Catch a flight and go to places I thought I would never see. My vision clear just like my future. Flex like I got super strength. Thought I always knew the